Hey, what's up guys? Shuckle King here, bringing you my Week 3 battle of PPL versus Donphanatic, coach of the Norwich Skitties. Again, just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for my content for all this PPL goodness, as well as the NPL trials are going to be coming up on the channel pretty soon. In the next upcoming weeks, I'll be having my pool battles for that. But anyway, my opponent, Donphanatic, really cool guy. Didn't really know him prior to this league. I've heard of him, but really never talked to him. But he lost to Carney week 1, and in week 2, he actually didn't play that game because his opponent was Kelly, under the radar, who dropped out of the league. I guess he's not playing Mons anymore. I don't know if he's posting anything on his channel about that or whatnot, but that will also be the case because my week 4 battle was scheduled for Kelly under the radar, but if he's not going to play, then I'm not going to be able to upload a battle for that week. So next week there won't be a battle, but 2 weeks from now there should be a battle posted up, which would be pretty cool. And that's pretty nice for me because I'll be on vacation, so a little bit of a break. Not that I really need it. This has been a lot of fun to PPL. A lot of really cool people here. But anyway, his team, from most to least threatening, is Necrozma, with no Z move access, fortunately, but he has Tapu Koko, which is threatening. He had the first overall pick, so it makes sense that he got a Koko, and he has Z move access, and it was only 17 points, whereas my land was 19 points, which is just crazy, but besides the point. Superior, Drapion, Vanillix, Entei, Mega Aggron, Gliscor, Vaporeon, and Noivern with Z move access. Necrozma is annoying just because it could do whatever it wants. It could be I'm pretty sure it gets Drain Punch, or it gets Single Beam for sure. So it could be that type of set, like defensive with Colbert, to like take a hit from Weavile and kill it in return, even though Weavile is usually a good answer for psychic types. It could be an autonomized set with like Hidden Power Ice to hit the Lando, has Heat Wave to hit the Ferrothorn. Psychic hits my team pretty hard otherwise. I do have Latios to resist, but he could run Dark Pulse, so he has a lot of options. And I guess Dark Pulse also hits the Bronzor, which would, I guess, not even wall that well because of Heat Wave. But Necrops is a big issue. Tapu Koko, it's always an issue, but I mean, I have Landorus T, and if it's not HP Ice, I take a hit. Ferrothorn, if he's not HP Fire, I take a lot of hits pretty easily. Mega Manectric, add speeds it at least, and I can absorb electric moves. Aldino can take hits. Latios can take a hit if it has to. Rhyperior. So I have options for Koko, but I just gotta watch out for it. Superior, I Weavile to Revenge Kill it, and I guess Gorfinfernate, but otherwise it's an issue, especially if he gets a +2 boost. Drapion, it could be defensive to handle my Weavile pretty well, because otherwise, and hit that and Entei is really great answers to handle Weavile. And Drapion can also pursue Trap Latios, so that's something you gotta watch out for. Vanillix is a pretty big issue, depending if he Specs or Scarf. Specs, I really don't have a switch in whatsoever, and Scarf, without speed, my entire team that's not Scarfed. So I have to watch out for that. I guess, what am I resist? Weavile. Toxapex isn't a great resist because of Freeze Dry. Bronzor, so that's something to watch out for sure. I guess Infernape as well. Entei, big issue there. If he runs a Choice Band, and I don't have Toxapex, or I guess Latios, or, I mean, I guess Rhyperior to an extent, but Rhyperior doesn't want to get burned by a Sacred Fire. Otherwise, I don't have the greatest switch-ins, and obviously getting burned isn't great. His defensive stuff towards the end of the draft, Mega Aggron, could come as a rocker. Gliscor could come as a rocker, but I have a lot of answers for them. Vaporeon, I feel like, is pretty passive for my team, and my walls handle it really easily. Noivern, I don't think there's any chance it comes, because I have Weavile and Manectric to outspeed it, so that extra speed isn't that helpful. So, the team I'm bringing this week, the first Pokemon I thought has a really good matchup, and I really do like Mega Manectric in general. It's really nice to have the Intimidate ability once you Mega, and the Electric immunity before you Mega. So, pretty standard set here, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, and Overheat. Now, I do have Modest instead of Timid, so there's potential things I am not outspeeding. What I'm outspeeding is essentially Creep on Latios and Superior, like with the Superior. So if like Superior runs enough speed to outspeed my Latios, that's probably all it's gonna run. Could also be the same case for Tapu Koko. Like there's really no point for it running max speed, so it could just run maybe even a modest set, as long as it adds speed to Latios. But I'm going to hopefully try to speed creep that a little bit more, because I do like the power output from Modest in this matchup versus Timid. So the next Pokemon I have is a cool set. I mean, I'm pretty much 0 for 2 with Landorus doing stuff. It helped a little bit pivot in and out on the Tangrowth last week, but hopefully this set works, and it's a little uncommon with Special, Earth Power, Hidden Power Ice, Stealth Rock, and U-Turn with Groundium Z. Now, Hidden Power Ice is there for the Gliscor, which is probably his response to this Landorus, I suppose. Otherwise, Earth Power hits, what's his resist? Superior, Noivern. But Noivern's going to get blocked by Hidden Power Ice, so it's not going to really switch into that. He really doesn't have a switch into Groundium Z Earth Power once the Gliscor goes down, unless if his Vaporeon's at full. I think it still does like over half if it's physically defensive, which I would imagine it'd be physically defensive if he brought it for the Weavile and the Infernape. So hopefully, 0 for 2. Hopefully I can do well with this set, and at the very worst, I get a Stealth Rocks up. Third set is Win Con for sure, hopefully. It's a Rhyperior with Weakness Policy, with some bulk, a little bit attack, Adamant, and actually max speed. Now the max speed, 92 with a Rock Polish, times 2 makes 184. So it's basically the same speed as what my Manectric's trying to outspeed. So I should add speed Superior, and hopefully add speed Coco to running enough speed investment for max speed Latios. So hopefully this set does well. The attack allows me to kill max HP Necrozma after rocks with a +2 Earthquake. So that should be cool. If he's max defensive, then it's a roll, but I don't think he'll have anything that want to KO me from this range. I would imagine he's going to be a Psychic move, Dark move, and a Fire move based on the team I have. So something like Photon Geyser, Heat Wave, Dark Pulse. So that's all the attack boost I needed, and it's usually better to put your bulk with Rhyperior in your special defense, but I really don't need it in special defense. Like, if Tapu Koko runs Hidden Power Ice and activates my Weakness Policy, I'm going to live that pretty easily, so it's not like I need a special defense investment for that. But stuff like Vaporeon Scald or Superior Leaf Storm, I'm not going to live those hits. So it's better to take a little bit less damage from, say, like a Gliscor Earthquake. So that's why I went with more HP investment and special defense investment. The fourth Pokemon I have is my Weavile with Choice Band. Again, similar speed tier as the Landorus. Now, straightforward set. It's going to be I'm going to have to predict really well with this Weavile, just because I can go for knockoff, but then the Coco resists, the Mega Aggron takes it for no problem, and Drapion takes it pretty well. If I go for Icicle Crash, then the Vaporeon comes in, Entei comes in, Aggron comes in. If I go for the low kick, then Gliscor can come in, Necrozma can come in, and I'm sure he can figure out him banded pretty quickly. So I'm going to have to predict pretty well with this set, but I really don't want to take the Life Orb hits from Weavile, because this is also kind of an answer for his Vanillix, because I really don't have the greatest switch-ins to it otherwise, besides the next Pokemon I have, which is max special defensive Ferrothorn with Leech Seed, Gyro Ball, Protect, and Spikes. The Spikes is really just I guess a filler move. It's cool to have, but Leech Seed, Gyro Ball, and Protect are the three main moves of this set. Protect, maybe to burn a Z move from Coco, though a Z move wouldn't do much unless if it's Guardians of Alola. But otherwise, it should let me get leftovers recovery, or at the very least, if Vanillix is in, I can stall out Hail turns. Leech Seed to get recovery, because his only switch in is Superior, and I'll be able to do a lot of damage with Gyro Ball on the Superior. And then, if I can get Spikes up, great, but I really don't expect to get Spikes up this match. And the last Pokemon I had Infernape here, but last second I felt like Entei was a little bit of an issue, so I wanted a little bit of a better response, as well as something to take a Necrozma hit. So I'm going to go at Latios, a bulkier-ish Latios. Roost Calm Mind, Psychic Drake and Meteor. Now, I can explain the EVs. So the speed allows me to add speed at max speed Drapion, because in that speed tier between Drapion, the next fastest thing would be, Entei, but if he's Adamant, with extreme speed, and Drapion will have speed if he's max speed. But the next fastest thing would be the Superior based 111. So I didn't need max speed. So the speed just allows me to outspeed the Drapion, which is cool. A special attack investment allows me to kill a max HP Necrozma after rocks if I get a +1 Calm Mind boost with Draco Meteor. And the rest goes in the bulk. The bulk will be nice to take a little bit more hits from Entei because, again, Rhyperior can take the hit, but he has to set up set, so I really don't want it to. And I guess Lando can take it as well, but it's good to have a secondary check. So that's my team. Let's hop into the battle. Alright, here we are for the battle. As we can see, Jack brings Coco, Gliscor, Mega Aggron, Necrozma, Entei, and Vanilluxe. So no Superior or Drapion, which is nice. That might leave a room for Latios to maybe sweep late game. We'll see. I feel like also Superior has a pretty good chance to sweep late game with getting a Rock Polish up on the Mega Aggron ideally, or even the Gliscor. And I don't think his Tapu Koko is going to run Grass Knot in this matchup. But otherwise, Lando is a pretty good lead versus his team. It's a good lead because it has rocks, and he has the Vanilluxe and the Entei, and then everything on his team is pretty hurt by my Landers going for like a Granium Z Earth Power. And if he stays in with the Gliscor, then I can just Hidden Power Ice it, and maybe even knock it out depending on what his investment is. But I also figured that Vanilluxe is going to be Scarfed, which is a little bit better for my Ferrothorn to take hit from it than if it was a spec set. So we do see the Vanilluxe leads, unfortunately. I forgot to nickname my Mons. That's unfortunate. But turn 1 leading with Landorus is not great, especially because I believe with the effects show that he has his no warning before my Intimidate. I'm pretty sure that means that he's a Scarf set because his animation went off, because I would add Speed Vanilluxe with this set. So I have to switch out. There's no point trying to bluff a Scarf, even if that wasn't the case here. So my 100% switch in this is Ferrothorn. So I should take about 30 to 35%ish, unless he goes for Hidden Power Fire. But now he just goes for a Blizzard, which is pretty safe to have Blizzard on this side and not Hidden Power Fire. So I take that pretty well, but I get Frozen. That's pretty unfortunate because this is my Vanilluxe and my Coco check. But yeah, I mean, Jack offered a rematch at this point, but I was like, I wouldn't offer it to you. So it happens in Pokemon. He's got to go with the blows. So hopefully I can dethaw with my Ferrothorn and get up a layer of Spikes, or even set up Leech Seeds to maybe recover more HP, because I want this pretty healthy to take on, especially the Vanilluxe, but also the Coco. So the Entei comes in, not wanting to risk the Vanilluxe to a Gyro Ball, but I get Frozen, and now I'm going to stay in and go for the Protect, and if I can get Unfrozen here, that'd be great, but otherwise he's probably going to knock me out with a Flare Blitz or a Sacred Fire, unless he misses, but he'll probably go for the Sacred Fire here. So I do decide to Protect, but I am Frozen solid, so I lose my main Vanilluxe answer and my at least primary, if not secondary, check to Tapu Koko with that freeze on the Ferrothorn. So that was pretty unfortunate, but again, it happens in this game. Jack couldn't really control any of that. But he does have the Entei in, and I'm assuming he's banded. So I do add speed with this Landorus set, so I can easily kill with an Earth Power. But he does have the Gliscor, which is a fairly safe switch in, and I'm guessing that's his switch in into this Landorus. So I'm going to go right for the Rocks. Rocks are great to chip down this Entei, so hopefully it's not a problem later on in the game to make it a little easier for my Weavile to just spam Icicle Crash, and also wears down the Vanilluxe a lot, especially because my Ferrothorn is dead, unfortunately. So I get the Rocks up, that's great. He gets his Poison heal off with the Toxic Orb, so that's perfectly okay with me. I don't know if he expects I'm going to have Hidden Power Ice, but I should do a ton of damage. I probably won't kill, but I'll do a lot, especially because he's slightly weakened by the hail. So I'm going to go right for the Hidden Power Ice here. This is great for me. If he's physically defensive, I might be able to kill. But as we can see here, he is basically max HP, max special defense based on how well he took that. He goes for the knockoff, predicting the switch, maybe having Ice Fang, and he figuring I don't have anything to hit this set with. But at this point here, I figured that he really doesn't want to lose his Gliscor as early because it's its only Earth Power, or Earthquake, ground move in general, resistant to my Landers, because otherwise I can spam that every time I come in for pretty much free, because his team is Vanilluxe, which doesn't want to take an Earthquake, Earth Power, Aggron, which will die, Entei will die, Necrozma might take might take 2 hits, depending if it's bulky or not, and Coco's not going to take it. So right here, I feel like he's going to switch out, so I feel like it's a pretty safe move for me to just burn my Groundium Z. If I do that, I can maybe catch the Coco or the Vanillix trying to come in on a Hidden Power Ice, and I should be able to knock those out. But instead, I go for the Groundium Z, and I am, I guess, 0 for 3 with Landorus trying to use it. I go for it, and he stays in. So that's a great play by him. I don't know. I felt like that was kind of weird to risk the Gliscor this early on in the match, especially because how threatening Landorus was otherwise to the team. But he makes the play right and goes for the Roost. So now he's up to full HP, and this is a little bit of a standstill because I can 2-hit KO him, and I don't think he can do much to me, but he really doesn't have a switch in at the same time for this Landorus. So I'm going to just go for the Earth Power again, predicting a switch, but he stays in again, and he goes for the Ice Fang. Really unfortunate that he misses there. Based on my HP, I probably wouldn't have died to it, but it would have been close. So that was pretty unfortunate that he missed that Ice Fang there. I don't know if it cancels out the freeze on my Ferrothorn. Probably not, because I think I would have preferred to have my Ferrothorn at this point than my Landorus, especially because Landorus already got rocks up. But again, that's okay. So at this point, I don't want to risk my Landorus dying to the Ice Fang, knowing that he has it now. So I'm going to just turn on out of here. And I'm pretty confident he's going to go for the Ice Fang again. So I can go right into my Weavile and threaten this out with an Icicle Crash. So again, he just played pretty aggressive with this Gliscor, just staying in, or he just wanted to sack it off and I was just over predicting way too much. But at this point, I figured he's going to make the safe play and go to his Mega Aggron. So I'm going to go for the low kick. This is again risky because he stays in and goes for an Earthquake. He's going to do a ton of damage to my Weavile, but he does switch out and he goes into Galvatron, which is his Mega Aggron. So that's great. I figured this is his rocker here because he would have gone for it by now with the Gliscor. And I don't think Necrozma is going to be a defensive set. I think it's more of a setup set based on the team composition so far. So I'm able to take out this big special defensive threat, assuming it's max special defense to take on Latios. So that's great. But now he brings in his Coco, and I don't have my Ferrothorn around. So this is not ideal. I'm going to make, I guess, a fairly risky play and go into my Mega Manectric. I mean, either that or go into my Landorus, hoping that he Volt switches. But going into Manectric, I can maybe get a +1 special attack boost, and that would be really nice. But even goes for the Dazzling Gleam, I'll be able to take at least 1. Probably not 2, but I'll be able to weaken this a lot with an Overheat. But he ends up going for the U-turn. And based on that damage, even though it does a decent amount, because of how frail Manectric is, this is probably just a timid Mega Manectric set, or a Tapu Koko set. So he brings in a Vanillix. Again, I really don't have a switch in. I do have Weavile that'll probably get 3 to 4 hit KO'd by Blizzard. I think it's a 3 hit KO, but I don't want to risk it now because, okay, I go into my Weavile, I take the Blizzard, does a third, but if this Vanillix comes in a second time, then I have no absolute switch into it. So I have, unless I want to sack something off. So I'm going to decide to sack something off right now and go into my and sack off the Manectric. If he also went for, say, a Hidden Power Fire or a Flash Cannon on my Weavile, like on this turn right here, predicting me to switch into it, then that would have been really, really bad to lose my Weavile, because Weavile is a great way to get through the Necrozma that he still has, and the Gliscor. So I lose that, I go into Weavile here, I make the pretty safe play of going for the knockoff. Knockoff allows me to, because he doesn't have the Aggron, it allows me to hit the Entei really hard, allows me to maybe 2-hit KO to Gliscor, allows me to probably kill the Necrozma, and it'll do decent damage to the Coco, unless he's a really bulky spread, but I don't think he would be a bulky spread based on my team. So he does withdraw the Vanillix, which that was a pretty obvious play, but he does go into Coco, so he is able to take this hit. If I went for the Icicle Crash, I'd probably killed, especially after rocks there, but and I am unable to kill, though I do a ton of damage. This shows that he is definitely a more offensive set, which is cool to know. I can go into my Landorus here, because again, I have my Manectric is dead and Ferrothorn, which are 2 pretty good checks to Coco. So my Coco checks are going down, which is not great. but I can at least revenge kill with a Ice Shard if I have to at this range. So, predicting him to go for the electric move, I go into Norwich, I feel like it's pretty safe, and he goes for the Dazzling Gleam, which is fine. It's gonna 2-hit KO me at this range, but hopefully, maybe I'll just sack off this Landorus. I can't really do much about it. I guess I'll have to revenge kill with my Weavile after this with an Ice Shard, but he actually defogs, which, it's a cool play. I guess it gives Vanillux and Entei more life, but he does sack his Coco here, which is really cool. I didn't really have many switch-ins to this, but I guess he knew that Weavile could revenge kill with the Ice Shard, and he doesn't have the greatest Ice Shard resistances, especially if Rocks were up, and Entei would still take a decent amount from Rocks plus Ice Shard. So I do kill the Lando, killed a Coco with my Lando, which is good news, but bad news is Necrozma comes in, and I'm 100% sure it's a autonomized 3-attack special attacking set. Could be weakness policy, but I don't have a move to hit it super effective besides U-turn, but I did not want to go for that to risk the weakness policy. I just want to go for Earth Power to get as much damage off as possible. And at this point, I'm assuming he's Psychic, Heat Wave, and Dark Pulse. So if he flinches or crits, or I guess they would be the only two circumstances, or if I miss my Draco Meteor with my Latios, I would lose at this point because I really have nothing for this Necrozma at this point. See, he just kills me with the Photon Geyser here, which is to be expected, but he's Life Orb. So at least I guess he's not weakness policy, but this is a little bit worse for me is that he'll be taking damage here. I go for the Draco. If he's a Moonlight, I probably lose, but he is Dark Pulse, and if I flinch, I lose the game here, and I hit. Nice. Okay, so no, I knew I hit there. Little effect there, but the Dark Pulse does not flinch or crit me or anything like that. I do not miss my Draco, so fortunately I am able to take out the Necrozma, so I still have a chance to maybe pull this game back. I'm not entirely sure, but Latios is out here, and all he has left is the Entei, the Gliscor, and the big threat Vanillux. Now, if I was at full HP with my bulk, I would be able to live a Blizzard, and I wouldn't kill with a Draco at this point at -2, but if I didn't in the -2, I would kill from this range, but I am not able to, and he also doesn't have Rocks up, which is pretty cool for him, because maybe if it was 2 more rounds of Rocks, then my Weavile probably kills with Ice Shard with Choice Band, so it was good that he got rid of the Rocks in this regard. So I have to sack my Latios here, and then bring in my Weavile. My Weavile is the only thing, again, I could take on this Vanillux, and I don't want it to take any damage if it doesn't have to. So he has the Entei, Gliscor, and Vanillux left. I feel like it's pretty safe to just go for the knockoff. If the Entei comes in, I'll do a ton of damage to it. He brings in the Gliscor. The hail damage will negate at least some of the Toxic Orb damage, so I might be able to 2-hit KO it. And if he stays with Vanillux, I kill it, and he doesn't kill me in return. And I don't think an Ice type can freeze an Ice poke. A Blizzard would be able to freeze an Ice Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that's the case. But regardless, I do not kill, which I wasn't going to kill unless I got like a really, really high roll. So at this point, I'm going to switch to my Rhyperior because I cannot let my Weavile get weakened for this Vanillux. I have to be able to live at least one Blizzard from it. So he goes with the Extreme Speed, which I predicted doesn't do a lot to Rhyperior. Now at this point, I could either Rock Polish or just go for the kill here. I decided to go for the Earthquake and just kill. I could have gone for the Rock Polish here, but at this point he would have just gone into the Vanillux and outsped me anyway. So I feel like it really didn't make a difference. If he brought in the Gliscor on that play, then I would have been okay with going with Earthquake, because then he could have gone for the Earthquake and then I could have gone for a Rock Polish, and at that point I could have gone for a second Rock Polish on the Gliscor. Been able to live both hits and then be at +4 speed and then outspeed the Vanillux. That's why I felt like Earthquake was my safest play, and then if for some reason he went into Vanillux, I just kill it outright. But he does not, and I'm kind of in a 50-50-ish predicament at this point. I have to go into my Weavile here. This isn't a 50-50. If he goes for like a hidden power fighting or whatever, so be it. I lose the game there. But I go into Weavile to take the Blizzard because I can take 2 pretty comfortably, unless he gets a crit. and pressure is building up, but he has enough PP with Blizzard to not make it an issue. So he goes for it, and I'm at a little bit more than half. And here comes what I call like a 52-48% play. I think it's slightly more complicated than a 50-50 here. So if I go for the knockoff, which I feel like is the 52% play, I kill the Vanillux if he stays in, which is great. If he goes into Gliscor, which is other Pokemon left, I could crit it with one of my knockoffs, and then with a crit plus a regular knockoff, I'll be able to 2-hit KO. Otherwise, I won't be able to 2-hit KO, but I have the chance to crit and kill it. If I stay in and go for the Icicle Crash, and he switches his Vanillux into Gliscor, then I kill it. Unless if I miss 2 Icicle Crashes in a row, in that case, that would be bad. If I miss one, he could even switch into the Vanillux back in, and then take that pretty comfortably. So that's why, and if he stays in and goes for a Blizzard as I go for an Icicle Crash, predicting the Gliscor to come in, then he just 2-hit KOs me and I don't KO it in return. Though, I guess looking back at it, this replay, the hail does end after this turn. So even if I did stay in and went for the Icicle Crash, then there was a chance that he could have missed that second Blizzard. But again, he probably just goes back into his Gliscor, sacks it off, comes in with Vanillux, and kills me with probably Freeze Dry, or maybe if he has another coverage move to kill that plus the Rhyperior. So I don't think that would have made much of a difference, unless if I PP stalled it, but I didn't really take credit of that, and I probably should have been counting the Blizzard PP here. But I do decide to go for the knockoff, so we'll see if he stays in or switches, showing like the whole situation here. And he does go into Gliscor, which isn't great, but if I can get a crit here, then I should be able to win this match. And he's at full HP, so he's definitely going to be able to live too. I go for the knockoff, and it does around 50-ish, 55%-ish, which is not bad, but Poison Heal will heal him up 12.5%. I won't be able to kill with a second knockoff, unless if I crit. But I decide to go into Rhyperior, and hopefully he goes for a Roost, which probably he wasn't going to go for that play, but I was banking on a play that he would just misplay or misclick rather than me trying to go for the crit on the Gliscor. And even so, I think there was a chance that he could have won anyway, even if I did crit with the second knockoff on the Gliscor. So I go into Rhyperior, I am able to live it, but he is going to outspeed, even with my max speed, and he probably has no speed. Killed my Rhyperior, and then at this point my Weavile can come in. I'll be able to probably kill one of the two things, depending on if he wants to play for differential. Maybe he predicts and goes into Vanillux, but I feel like that's pretty risky because if I crit knockoff, then that would be pretty bad for him. So in the end, I am going to lose this game, but turns out he actually had Flash Cannon. So I was surprised that he went for the Blizzard earlier on with the Rhyperior on the Vanillux when my Weavile took the initial Blizzard. If he just went for Flash Cannon, I'm pretty sure he won the game at that point, because I think Flash Cannon would have been able to do enough damage to at least 2-hit KO this Weavile, and I wouldn't have been able to KO it in return. So I thought Flash Cannon would have been the better play for him there, but the Blizzard was also pretty safe, and it would have 100% killed my Rhyperior. So unless he thought I was a special defensive Rhyperior, then I guess the Blizzard was a better play there than the Flash Cannon. So anyway, I do kill the Gliscor with an Icicle Crash. I do not miss, which is great, but I'm not able to take a hit with this Weavile on the Vanillux, and I end up losing this game. He shows off the Ice Shard there, which is pretty cool. I think his set was 3 ice moves plus, which is Freeze Dry, Blizzard, Ice Shard, and Flash Cannon was his 4th move. So anyway, there goes the game. Good game to Jack, but there's another loss in the loss column for me. The Ferrothorn getting frozen early on really put me far back to not take on the Vanillux as well as I wanted to, and the Tapu Koko as well. But that happens in this game. I also got frozen in LD a couple weeks ago, which was unfortunate, but again, it's all part of the game. You just gotta shake it off and move on. I guess I do get a 3-0 win against Kelly for week 4. I would have really liked to play him. It was unfortunate it didn't work out, but is what it is. If you're not passionate about the game, no point in continuing to play it. So I guess we'll go on to my week 5 game in 2 weeks. I don't even know who I play. Who do I play week 5? I should know this. Where is it on the document? Here it is. So week 5, I play Carney. So that'll be a pretty cool match. I'm pretty excited to play him. So anyway, thanks for watching, and later, guys.